Hello everyone, it is Reverend Dr. Michelle Walker with you tonight, and I wanted to come on and do a little reading for you. So for those of you that do not know me, I am a spiritualist reverend, a medical intuitive, a doctor of nursing practice, and I integrate both Eastern and Western medicine in with the spiritual practice so that we can facilitate healing of body, mind, and spirit. And my website is empoweredwellness.org. And tonight, thought that I would do a little reading, do my fireside reading for you guys on the book that Spirit channeled, and really encouraged to get this out into the world during these times. The book that is written and just released is Empowering Intuitives, and this is a spiritual toolkit for the modern world. And there's lots of exercises for you to work on so that you can develop your own divine birthright and innate natural abilities. And there's a lot of examples from my own life so that you realize really how Spirit has been working with you all along, whether or not you realize it, whether or not you acknowledge it. We're all intuitive to varying degrees, and Spirit is really right there with us, navigating our lives with us. So again, the book is called Empowering Intuitives. You can find it anywhere. It's right now, the Kindle book is released and you can purchase that. The paperback doesn't come out until December 15th. And then maybe by the end of this year, beginning of next year, the audiobook will be out. So let's dive in, if you will, into Empowering Intuitives, the spiritual toolkit for the modern world. So I'll go ahead and we'll start with the introduction. I'm a natural born intuitive or empath and use those terms interchangeably in this book. I have struggled my entire life to understand my intuitive abilities and mediumship while trying to find a balance walking in both the spiritual and physical worlds. When I was 3 years old, I had a traumatic experience, and what was birthed from that experience was seeing my first full apparition of an angel. I was lying in bed, and the angel put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Stay here." Then I heard voices shouting from the hallway. When I got up to see what was happening, the angel blocked the doorway so I could not pass. And then he hugged me and comforted me until the voices stopped. I told my mother about it, but she just brushed it off as having an active imagination. It was difficult to wrap my head around what I had seen and experienced when the adults in my life didn't believe me. Being able to see an angel so clearly felt comforting, but I didn't understand why I was the only one that could see him. That was my first visual experience, but I've had many throughout the years. As an adult, I came to the realization that I needed to nurture these visuals, that these divine spirits were here to help me. So I sought out mentors, read countless books, and I have learned to trust the divine spirits who are guiding my life. My experiences led to the development of this book to serve as a basis for understanding your own innate abilities and in the hopes to assist you in finding a workable balance. I came by this information through my life experiences and in communication with Spirit. Throughout this book, I refer to Spirit, can I turn the page, as the divine beings that I communicate with. I recognize that everyone has their own spiritual and religious beliefs, so Spirit can include, but is not limited to, God, archangels, angels, ascended masters, guardians, spirit guides, and spirit loved ones. My spiritual team, as I like to call them, is a collective council that brings forth guidance for me in all aspects of my life. They work alongside me in my personal life, my work as a doctor of nursing practice, and in my ministry as a medical intuitive and spiritualist reverend. I provide care in a family practice as well as counseling, psychic mediumship readings, and facilitate students in a weekly developmental circle as part of my ministry. My work is focused to help balance the body, mind, and spirit for total healing using my education and trainings in both Eastern and Western medicine and modalities and intuitive abilities. In a world with so much uncertainty, unrest, fear, and hate, we should begin to look inward to our spirit team that guides us to find what we seek outside of ourselves. In The Wizard of Oz, Glinda the Good Witch says to Dorothy, "You've always had the power, my dear. You just had to learn it for yourself." And this is the best way that I can explain for you to come into trust and understand our world and intuitive abilities. We are born with them. And as we navigate our experiences, we first ask our parents, then our friends and teachers and bosses and religious leaders to help us in our lives. But then there comes a time when no one seems to have the entire answer, which lights the fire for our self-discovery. I recall just before my 11th birthday that I was seeking to understand the life and death circle after one of my close friends committed suicide earlier that year. This led me to question my Lutheran upbringing, and when I did not receive an answer that was satisfactory from my minister, I researched other religions, and while some of what they said overlapped and made sense, nothing felt completely accurate. I explored the possibility of everything being predestined, which led me to find Nostradamus and Socrates. Well, this opened up Pandora's box. For a year or so, I was having premonitions of events before they occurred, and I finally felt like I understood that I was not making things happen, and that people can receive such information. I just didn't understand how exactly. It was complicated reading for a middle schooler, but the drive and desire to understand my spiritual gifts compelled me to read more and understand. What I later discovered was that I was coming into my puberty years where my visions and psychic abilities would be developing and opening up more frequently. One night before my 12th birthday, I was awoken by a woman's voice calling my name, a beautiful white light shining around the cracks of my bedroom door. Then a beautiful woman appeared in the doorway. I did not recognize her, but it felt like I knew her. And there was something familiar about her. "Hello, Michelle," she said. "I'm Mary, your grandmother." I wasn't scared, and I felt comforted by her presence. She told me that she had been assisting me with my psychic abilities since birth, and that things were going to get intense. She sat on my bed, and we talked for what seemed like hours. I had never met my grandmother Mary in life because she passed into spirit before I was born. She was also intuitive, and I have a lot of her mannerisms from what other family members have told me. I was a bit skeptical, so I asked, "How can I be sure that you are who you say you are?" My grandmother smiled and said, "Go into your mother's cedar chest in her bedroom, and you'll find the answer in there." The next day, I snuck into my mother's bedroom when my mother was at work. The cedar chest was in the back corner of her closet and full of photo albums. And inside, there was a picture of my grandmother when she was sick right before her death. Though it barely looked like the woman who had visited me, my grandfather was standing beside her bed in the photo, and I just knew it was her. That was the proof I needed to begin to trust and understand my spirit team. This is why I believe Spirit sent my grandmother to be the one to speak to me, as I knew her energy and would want some kind of tangible proof. The world can be difficult to navigate without a firm, solid foundation for us to trust and rely on. For me, that never seemed to be the stability in the outside world, so I began to trust my spirit team. I grew up in an environment where the paranormal experience caused intense fear, and I was told not to discuss it because people would think I was crazy for predicting events and lock me away. When the environment was too harsh for me, I needed an escape to isolate by myself. I was considered sensitive and emotional. As an empath, it can be hard to be around certain situations, such as watching horror movies or people being abused or hurt, because I will feel what they are experiencing in my own body. I am hypersensitive to the energy in a room, a person, or a situation, which can be difficult to stay calm and in my own space. If someone is upset, grieving, or yelling, it's hard for me not to let that person's energy overcome my own. How do you feel when someone yells at you? Do you feel the intensity of their words and emotions? As an empath, you cannot help but feel the energy in your physical body until you learn to manage your energy better. You can feel overwhelmed by other people's energies and carry their issues on your own shoulders as the weight of the world with no way to let it go. And this can cause unhealed emotional issues that will need to be healed. My goal in writing this book is to help guide, illuminate, and allow you to gain the knowledge from my life experiences and spirit guidance. My intention with this book is to help you understand your own abilities and how to strengthen them. I want you to learn how to work with your spirit team to gain a higher understanding of this world and how to manage your feelings and your perspective to become the best version of yourself. I believe that we have the power to heal any issues we may have created intentionally or unintentionally through our life experiences by utilizing all of the tools we have at our disposal. And when we cannot find the answers, we must learn to go within to receive the guidance from the spirit world. As an empathic being trying to navigate this world, I completely understand the challenge it is to successfully cope and grow on a spiritual path. I see so many people, especially children, struggle to understand their innate natures and how to incorporate them in their daily lives. Though there is more acceptance in today's world for those of us with these strong gifts, it is still challenging to navigate the emotional roller coaster of self-acceptance and embracing our authentic selves. Assisting others on our path is both my pleasure and passion. In this book, you will discover and identify the traits of highly intuitive people. Each chapter provides self-discovery questions that will assist you in identifying blocks and opening up your connection with your spirits. I discuss in depth the many ways you can develop your own psychic abilities. I have also provided ways to help you understand how your mind works and how intentions create your reality, which is the key to changing our lives. Once I gained this knowledge, it became a game changer. I was no longer the victim of my circumstances or past experiences. It was excitingly mind-blowing to learn that I have the power to change my mindset and that spirit is my guiding force. You will discover ways to shift your mindsets and perhaps your life. At the end of each chapter, there are exercises to assist in strengthening your spiritual muscles. Though it is not required, I recommend keeping a journal so you can track your experiences and progress. As always, check with your healthcare provider before trying any of these exercises to ensure they are appropriate for you and your loved ones. I am so happy to share my journey with you, and I hope that you will relate to similar experiences in your own life. Through practicing the exercises, you can strengthen your intuition as I provide new tools to use in your daily life. I encourage you to keep an open mind and explore the various aspects of this book so you may gain a deeper perspective of how you are living in this modern world. And that's the introduction for Empowering Intuitives. So I hope that this resonates with you and that you really take time to go through. This isn't a one and done read. This is a reference for lots of exercises for you to be able to work those in your daily life. I wish you guys all the best, and remember, everything is in divine time, and it's a slow, steady progress is what makes it the lasting changes in our lives. Thank you for joining me tonight. Namaste.